Today, we're going to start off with kindergarten. They're going to come on up and recite some poetry for us. You're going to see each grade is going to give you a little glimpse of what things they're remembering, beautiful things that they're remembering, reciting, and dwelling upon. And then after that, we're going to, I'm going to be one more second. After that, then we're going to go downstairs. You'll eat together, spend some time with food and family, and then they're going to present to you some of their folk dances, and we'll talk a bit why we do folk dancing. And after that, you guys will be able to join them in the folk dancing. So again, an atmosphere of fun, family, friends, fellowship. That's what we're here for. Two things you'll see today, and part of our curriculum that's important, is going to be piety. Piety and poetic knowledge. Piety is love for God, love for your family, and love for your people. All right? That's something that has started to fade away in our culture, and we're trying to cultivate that within our school. A love for God, a love for family, and a love for your people. And one way we teach piety is through something called poetic knowledge, learning poetically or musically. So whenever you tell your kids a story about when you were younger, or some tall tale about something that happened in your family's past, when you sing to them, that's poetic knowledge. Those are experiences that they're going to remember, and they absorb it just like when you teach through facts, but also they absorb this through their emotions, through their feelings, okay? So that's an important part of creating a culture, and that's what we're going to present for you today. You're going to see poetry, story, song, and dance, all right? Kindergarten can lead us off.
In 1492, author unknown. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He had 3 ships and left from Spain. He sailed through sunshine, wind, and rain. He sailed by night, he sailed by day. He used the stars to find his way. A compass also helped him know how to find the way to go. 90 sailors were on board. Some men worked while others snored. Then the workers went to sleep while others watched the ocean deep. Day after day they looked for land. They dreamed of trees and rocks and sand. October 12th their dream came true. You never saw a happier crew. Five little owls, author unknown. 5 little owls in an old elm tree, fluffy and puffy as owls could be, blinking and winking with big round eyes at the big round moon that hung in skies as it passed beneath. I could hear one say, "There'll be lots for supper, there will today." And all of them hooted to woot, yes, nuts for supper, woo, 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 woo. School is over by Kate Greenaway. School is over, oh what fun! Lesson finished, play begun. Who will run fastest, you or I? Who will let us try? Ha ha ha! Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord, he is God. It is he who made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. Psalm 100. The Friendly Cow by Robert Louis Stevenson. The friendly cow, all red and white, I love with all my heart. She gives me cream with all her might to eat with apple tart. She wanders lowing here and there, and yet she cannot stray. All in the pleasant open air, the pleasant light of day. And blown by all the winds that pass, and wet with all the showers, she walks among the meadow grass and eats the meadow flowers. January brings the snow. Snow by Sarah Coleridge. January brings the snow, makes our feet and fingers glow. February brings the rain, thaws the frozen lakes again. March brings breezes sharp and chill, shakes the dancing daffodil. April brings the primrose sweet, scatters daisies at our feet. May brings flocks of pretty lambs, sporting round their fleecy dams. June brings tulips, lilies, roses, fills the children's hands with posies. Hot July brings thunder showers, apricots and gillyflowers. August brings the ears of corn, then the harvest home is born. Warm September brings the fruit, sportsmen then begin to shoot. Brown October brings the pheasant, then to gather nuts is pleasant. Dull November brings the blast, hark! The leaves are whirling fast. Cold December brings the sleet, blazing fire and Christmas trees. The Snowman, author unknown. Once there was a snowman, stood outside the door, thought he liked to come inside and run around the floor. Thought he liked to warm himself by the firelight red. Thought he liked to climb up on that big white bed. So he called the north wind, help me now, I pray. I'm completely frozen, standing here all day. So the north wind came along and blew him in the door. And now there's nothing left of him but a puddle on the floor. Don't Give Up by Phoebe Carey. If you tried and have not won, never stop for crying. All that's great and good is done just by patient trying. If by easy work you beat, who the more will prize you? Gaining victory from defeat, that's the test that tries you.
Mr. Mentu, author unknown. Mr. Mentu has a comrade and his name is Didn't Do. Have you ever chanced to meet them? Did they ever call on you? These two fellows live together in the house of Neverwhen, and I'm told that it is haunted by the ghost of Might Have Been.
Rain in Summer by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. How beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat, in the broad and fiery street, in the narrow lane. How beautiful is the rain, how it clatters along the roofs like a tramp of hoofs, how it gushes and struggles out from the throat of the overflowing spout. Across the window pane it pours and swift and wide with a muddy tide. Like a river down the gutter roars the rain, the welcome rain. The Grasshopper and the Elephant, author unknown. Way down south where the bananas grow, a grasshopper stepped on an elephant's toe. The elephant said with tears on his eyes, pick on someone your own size.
Pater Noster, qui es in terris, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat mutus tua, sicut intera et intera, panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Amen. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
The Spider and the Fly by Mary Howard. Will you walk into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. 'Tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I've a many curious things to shew when you are there. Oh, no, no, said the little fly, to ask me is in vain, for who goes up your winding stair can ne'er come down again. I'm sure you must be weary, dear, with soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed, said the spider to the fly. There are pretty curtains drawn around, the sheets are fine and thin, and if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in. Oh, no, no, said the little fly, for I have often heard it said, they never, never wake again who sleep upon your bed. Said the cunning spider to the fly, dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection I've always felt for you? I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I'm sure you're very welcome, will you please to take a slice? Oh, no, no, said the little fly, kind sir, that cannot be. I've heard what's in your pantry, and I do not wish to see. Sweet creature, said the spider, you're witty and you're wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings, how brilliant are your eyes. I've a little looking glass upon my parlor shelf. If you'll step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you're pleased to say. And bidding you good morning, now I'll call another day. The spider turned him round about and went into his den. For well he knew the silly fly would soon come back again. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner sly, and set his table ready to dine upon the fly. Then he went up to his door again, and merrily did he sing. Come hither, hither, pretty fly, with pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, there's a crest upon your head. Your eyes are like the diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead. Alas, alas, how very soon the silly little fly, hearing his willy flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft and nearer, nearer drew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head, poor foolish thing. At last, up jumped the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up his winding stair into his dismal den, within his little parlor, but she ne'er came out again. And now, dear little children, who may the story read, to idle, silly, flattering words I pray you ne'er give heed. Unto an evil counselor, close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from this tale of Spider and the Fly.
Try, Try Again by William Hickson. 'Tis a lesson you should heed. If at first you don't succeed, try, try again. Then your courage should appear, for if you will persevere, you will conquer, never fear. Try, try again. Once or twice, though you should fail, try, try again. If you would at last prevail, try, try again. If we strive, 'tis no disgrace, though you do not win the race. What should you do in the case? Try, try again. If you find your task is hard, time will bring you your reward. Try again. All that other folks can do, why with patience should not you? Only keep this rule in view. Try again.
The Barefooted Friar by Sir Walter Scott. I'll give a good fellow a 12-month or twain to search Europe through from Byzantium to Spain. But ne'er shall you find, should you search till you tire, so happy a man as the Barefooted Friar. Your knight for his lady pricks forth in career, and is brought home at evensong, pricked through with a spear. I confess him in haste, for his lady desires no comfort on earth save the Barefooted Friar. Your monarch Bishop, many a prince has been known to barter his robes for our cowl and our gown. But which of us e'er felt the idle desire to exchange for a crown the gray hood of a friar? The friar has walked out, and where'er he has gone, the land and its fatness is marked for his own. He can roam where he lists, he can stop when he tires, for every man's house is the Barefooted Friar's. He's expected at noon in the white till he comes, may profane the great chair or the porridge of puffs. For the best of the cheer in the seat by the fire is the undenied right of the Barefooted Friar. He's expected at night in the pasties made hot. They broach the brown ale and they fill the black pot. For the good wife would wish the good man in the mire, ere he lacked a soft pillow, the Barefooted Friar. Long flourish the sandal, the cord and the coat, the dread of the devil and trust of the Pope. For to gather life's roses unscathed by the briar is granted alone to the Barefooted Friar.
Untitled by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. We must not hope to be mowers or to gather the ripe old ears unless we have first been sowers and water the furrows with tears. It is not just as we take it, this mystical world of ours, less field will yield as we make it, a harvest of thorns or of flowers.
Paul Revere's Ride by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year. He said to his friend, if the British march by land or by sea from the town tonight, hang a lantern aloft on the belfry arch of the North Church Tower as a signal light. One if I land and two if I sea, and I on the opposite shore will be, ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm, for the country folk to be out and to arm. Then he said good night, and with muffled oar silently rowed to the Charlestown shore. Just as the moon rose over the bay, where swinging wide at her moorings lay the Somerset, British man of war, a phantom ship with each mast and spar, across the moon like a prison bar, and a huge black hulk that was magnified by its own reflection in the tide. Meanwhile, his friend through alley and street wanders and watches with eager ears, till in the silence around him he hears the muster of men at the barrack door, the sound of arms, the tramp of feet, and the measured tread of the grenadiers, marching down to their boats on the shore. Then he climbed the tower of the Old North Church, by the wooden stairs with stealthy tread, to the belfry chamber overhead, and startled the pigeons from their perch, on the somber rafters that round him made, masses and moving shapes of shade, by the trembling ladder steep and tall, to the highest window in the wall, where he paused to listen and look down, a moment on the roofs of the town. And the moonlight flowing over all, beneath the churchyard lay the dead, in their night encampment on the hill, wrapped in silence so deep and still, that he could hear like a sentinel's tread, the watchful night went as it went, Revere. Now he patted his horse's side. Now he gazed at the landscape far and near. Then impetuous stamped the earth. Then turned to tighten his saddle girth. But mostly he watched with eager search the belfry tower of the Old North Church, as it rose above the graves on the hill, lonely and spectral and somber and still. And lo, as he looks on the belfry's height, a glimmer and then a gleam of light. He springs to his saddle, the bridle he turns, but lingers and gazes till full on his sight a second lamp in the belfry burns. A hurry of hooves in the village street, a shape in the moonlight, a bulk in the dark, and beneath from the pebbles and passing a spark, struck out by a steed flying fearless and fleet. That was all, and yet through the gloom and the light, the fate of the nation was riding that night. And the spark struck out by that steed in its flight, kindled the land into flame with its heat. He has left the village and mounted the steep, and beneath him tranquil and broad and deep is the mystic meeting the ocean tides, and under the alders that skirt its edge, now soft on the sand, now loud on the ledge, is heard the tramp of the steed as he rides. It was 12 by the village clock when he crossed the bridge into Medford town. He heard the crowing of the cock and the barking of the farmer's dog, and felt the damp of the river fog that rises after the sun goes down. It was 1 by the village clock when he galloped into Lexington. He saw the gilded weathercock swim in the moonlight as he passed, and the meeting house windows black and bare gazed at him with a spectral glare, as if they already stood aghast at the bloody work they would look upon. It was 2 by the village clock when he came to the bridge in Concord town. He heard the bleating of the flock and the twitter of birds among the trees, and felt the breath of the morning breeze blowing over the meadow brown. And one was safe in his sleep in his bed, who at that bridge would be the first to fall, who that day would be lying dead, pierced by a British musket ball. You know the rest in the books you have read, how the British regulars fired and fled, how the farmers gave them ball for ball, from behind each fence and farmyard wall, chasing the redcoats down the lane, and crossing the fields to emerge again, under the trees at the turn of the road, and only pausing to fire a load. So through the night rode Paul Revere, and so through the night went his cry of alarm, to every Middlesex village and farm, a cry of defiance and not of fear, a voice in the darkness, a knock at the door, and a word that shall echo forevermore. For born on the night wind of the past, from all our history to the last, in the hour of darkness and peril and need, the people shall waken to listen and hear the hurried hoofbeats of that steed, and the midnight message of Paul Revere.
The unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected with them to another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
All right, make sure you're in choir formation. This is our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade choir. Today they'll be singing a 4-part canon by Dr. David Erb based upon the text of Zephaniah 3:17.
He will rejoice over you with singing. He will rejoice over you with his song. The Lord your God is in your midst. The mighty one will sing. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice. He will rejoice. He will rejoice with shouts.
Wonderful job, students. Let's give them one more round of applause. Very impressive. See, we can expect a lot more from children than our culture assumes. They did a beautiful job. Well done. From kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade. And we look forward to see what grades building on one another can do as well. You see, there you heard songs. You heard stories within the poetry. You heard plenty of poems. A lot of them, we had some about virtues, right? About how we should, character, how we should behave. Some are silly, about a spider, right? But there's still a moral to the tale. These things, if they become part of their life, as they grow and grow, they'll have these things within them. And so when they look at nature, they'll have a beautiful poem. If they can express their feelings, they'll have a poem to express what they mean. If we think of David in the Psalter, right, singing psalms. If we're in darkness, we don't know what to do. Well, every morning we sing psalms, and they have now a whole collection of poetry, and now biblical poetry, the psalms, to tell them, look, if you don't know what to do in a dark time, let's praise God, let's sing to God and work through what we're feeling. Different ways of when you're feeling rejoice, I'm so happy, how do I express myself? A psalm to God, something like this. And something beautiful like this is also showing us God singing over us, right? Just as you should be singing over your children, praying over them, just as you love your child, the Father does that with us as well. So we can see that as human beings, we need to belong to a people, and most of all, we need to acknowledge that we are a creature who belongs to a creator. And that's what your children, your grandchildren are learning here, and we're trying to cultivate something within them to help them acknowledge that for the rest of their lives. You saw high art, you saw beautiful songs, and later you're also going to see some folk art. We're going to see some folk dancing as well. So we're trying to engage in everything. The most beautiful of all types of art that we can engage in. We're participating in, and we're cultivating with them biblical wisdom, virtue, and affections. And so for any of you guys, how can I help out at home? Grandparents, how can you help out the school? Love your grandkids. Teach them a story about you growing up. Teach them a skill that you might have. If you don't know a skill, show them that you're willing to learn. We should be forever learners, right? So show them that you're willing to learn a skill, learn a story, do it with them. That's how you can help us out the most.